Eastern. Time is 7:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Bands of heavier snow are moving into northern Connecticut. At 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Doppler radar showed the leading edge of the heavier snow moving into northern Connecticut. This heavier snow is forecast to move into southwestern Massachusetts and western Rhode Island in the next hour, and across the rest of southern New England by 9 p.m. Winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories are in effect for these areas. This heavier snow will reduce visibilities and result in slick spots on untreated roads and sidewalks. Use caution when traveling this evening. Slow down and avoid braking suddenly. Coastal flood advisory remains in effect from 8 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time Sunday. Location includes east-facing shorelines of Massachusetts from Nantucket northward to Cape Cod to Boston and the North Shore to Salisbury. Minor coastal flooding is likely along the low vulnerable spots in the advisory area. Pockets of low and moderate flooding is possible, mainly from Scituate north to Cape Ann. Timing will be within a couple of hours either side of high tide. Impacts: expect brief lane and /shore road closures within a couple of hours around high tide. Expect large ocean breakers to splash over sea walls, resulting in minor coastal flooding. Ocean water will also inundate Morrissey Boulevard in Boston and Easy Street along Nantucket Harbor. A coastal flood advisory is issued for minor coastal flooding of the most vulnerable shore roads and /shore basements due to the height of storm tidal wave splash over. The majority of roads remain passable with only isolated closures. There is no significant threat to life, and any impact on property is minimal. Winter storm warning remains in effect until 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday. Locations include northern Connecticut, northwest Rhode Island, western, central, eastern and northeastern Massachusetts, as well as southern New Hampshire. This includes the cities of Hartford, Boston, Worcester, Springfield, Nashua and Manchester. Hazard types: heavy snow followed by a period of sleet and freezing rain. Accumulations: snow accumulation of 6 to 12 inches expected, with the higher amounts most likely north of the Massachusetts Turnpike. There is also a possibility for a tenth to 1/4 of an inch of ice accretion across portions of southwest Massachusetts and northern Connecticut after the snow changes to freezing rain. Timing: snow will become heavy this evening. The snow will then transition to sleet and freezing rain across the interior from south to north toward daybreak Sunday, with a change to plain along the coastal plain. Precipitation tapers off and ends by late Sunday morning or early afternoon. Impacts: low visibilities at times due to snow. Hazardous driving conditions are expected as initially cold temps will allow for snow to accumulate immediately on roadways tonight. Winds northeast 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 45 miles per hour along the coast late. A winter storm warning is issued when an average of 6 or more inches of snow is expected in a 12-hour period, or for 8 or more inches in a 24-hour period. Travel will be slow at best on well-treated surfaces, and quite difficult on any unplowed or untreated surfaces. Winter weather advisory now in effect until 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday. Locations include central and southern Rhode Island as well as portions of southeastern Massachusetts. Hazard types: heavy snow followed by period of sleet and freezing rain. Accumulations: snow accumulation of 3 to 6 inches, along with rounded trays of ice. Timing: snow will become heavy this evening. The snow will then transition to rain after midnight and continue into Sunday morning. A brief period of sleet and freezing rain is possible during the transition. The rain will taper off to showers by late Sunday morning. Impacts: low visibilities at times due to snow. Hazardous driving conditions are expected as initially cold temps will allow for snow to accumulate immediately on roadways tonight. Winds east 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 45 miles per hour late on the southeast New England coast. A winter weather advisory is issued when snow and /shore ice is forecast to develop in the affected areas, but accumulations are expected to be light. Any snow or ice would make driving and walking difficult, but not impossible.
Here are the 7 p.m. observations for the Boston metropolitan area. At Logan Airport, light snow was falling. The temperature was 25 degrees, the dew point 21, and the relative humidity 85%. The wind was east at 21 miles an hour. The pressure was 30.42 inches and falling. Elsewhere around the region, in northeast Massachusetts, in Beverly, light snow and fog, temperature 22, wind northeast at 9. At Lawrence, light snow, temperature 16, wind north at 7. And in Bedford, light snow, temperature 15, wind north at 5. In southeast Massachusetts, at Blue Hill Observatory, temperature 21, wind east at 16, gusting to 23. At Norwood, light snow, temperature 24, wind northeast at 7. In Marshfield, cloudy, temperature 28, wind east at 17, gusting to 25.
We interrupt the following programming to bring you this civil danger warning. Please stand by for a message from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. The following message is being transmitted by order of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration and the Governor of Massachusetts. At approximately 8:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, scientists around the world alerted NASA to the presence of unusually high gamma radiation which has been interfering with many electronics and broadcasting mediums. It was assumed that this was due to solar disturbances originating from the Sun. However, it now appears that this is not the case. Scientists from around the world will be working with NASA and other astronomy professionals to determine the cause of the gamma radiation. At this time, all citizens are urged to take caution if traveling outdoors, and NASA has issued a statement that it advises all citizens to remain calm and alert, and to continue to listen to the latest bulletins as they come in. You are listening to the emergency alert system. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this message. We will now return you to the National Weather Service. We interrupt the following programming to bring you this civil danger warning. Please stand by for a message from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Good evening, I am Kevin Brown from NASA here to make a statement this evening. Over the last several days, we have been experiencing an unusual increase in gamma rays emanating from a source that we thought was the Sun. However, the type of energy source was correct, but we were looking at the wrong star. And tonight, we have a very critical statement to make. It seems that one of our closest neighbors in the universal community has died, and that the result of this passing may be on its way to Earth as we speak. A star by the name of Ik Pegasi has exploded into a Type 1 supernova some time ago, which may hold some serious implications for Earth. We are unsure as to the actual time that the star collapsed, but we must be on full alert. Ik Pegasi sits in the Pegasus system and is about 150 light-years from Earth. It is a binary system, which means that there are two major stars in the system, one of which exploded. We believe it was Ik Pegasi b right now. The first concern would be from gamma radiation that would be released from such a devastating event, as well as flying debris. Government officials along with astronomers from around the world are working to prepare for the worst-case scenario. We will keep you appraised of the latest news on this situation. Please stay tuned to your local news channel for more information. That is all that we have for now. Thank you.
That was a message from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. At this time, all citizens are advised to remain indoors and to clear all roadways as a safety precaution. All citizens are also advised to stay tuned to a radio or television station for all of the latest news and information. This has been a civil danger warning. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this message. We now return you to regular programming. The following message is being transmitted at the request of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration and the United States government. Please stand by. At approximately 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, scientists from several observatories worldwide witnessed the explosion of the star Ik Pegasi in the Pegasus system, which is approximately 150 light-years from Earth. This was later confirmed by several other observatories around the world. NASA has predicted that this phenomenon will cause a worldwide impact. A statement received earlier from the United States government reads that the time has come for all of us to prepare for the implications that a universal event such as this may possibly bring. All citizens must begin to make preparations for the possible impact of the supernova. NASA and members of the United Nations, as well as the European Space Agency, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency will be monitoring this situation carefully, and will continue to update you with all the latest alerts. Please stand by for a message from the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
The following message is being transmitted by FEMA. All citizens are urged to remain indoors and to clear all roadways until further notice, as this astronomical phenomenon may have serious implications for the planet. It is predicted that there may be a wave of intensely strong radiation emanating from the source of the blast, and there also may be the possibility that the explosion has sent heavy objects on a trajectory towards Earth. The government will be monitoring this situation closely. Please stay tuned to this channel to receive all updates and alerts. We now return you to regular programming.
We interrupt the following programming for this emergency action notification. This is a global emergency. Important news and information to follow. The following message is being transmitted by order of the White House. All citizens and all broadcast mediums shall transmit this message. It has been confirmed that the supernova, Ik Pegasi, that was seen earlier has exploded a lot earlier than was first reported, and has ejected a massive discharge that is likely to impact the Earth within the next 2 to 4 hours. Ejection matter that will reach Earth will be in the form of massive gamma radiation and heavy space objects, such as asteroids. NASA has confirmed that the massive gamma waves will arrive to Earth within the next 2 to 4 hours, and with inclination and rotation of the Earth at that time. The most likely primary targets at that time are Santiago, Chile, and Lima, Peru. NASA predicts that they will most likely be impacted in the next 3 hours and 15 minutes. All citizens receiving this broadcast should be prepared to seek a deep shelter immediately. Have a battery-powered radio with you for your stay in the shelter. Do not exit the shelter until an all-clear message has been given by the civil authorities. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this message. This station has interrupted regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air to bring the latest news and information to the public in assigned areas. You are listening to WMTK, and we will continue to serve the Boston area. If you are not in this area, please tune to a station covering news for your area. You're listening to the emergency alert system. Do not use your telephone. Telephone lines should be kept open for official use only. The emergency alert system has been activated. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this message. This station has interrupted regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air to bring the latest news and information to the public in assigned areas. You are listening to WBZ, and we will continue to serve the Boston area. If you are not in this area, please tune to a station covering news for your area. You are listening to the emergency alert system. Do not use your telephone. Telephone lines should be kept open for official use only. The emergency alert system has been activated. Here is the latest update on the astronomical phenomena. Numerous reports have come in stating that the entire continent of South America has been destroyed by extreme levels of gamma radiation. Reports from the National Weather Service and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration have stated that the gamma radiation has burned through the Earth's ozone layer and stripped away all protective layers. This may spread to Africa within the next 1 to 3 hours. Current predictions put this event at striking the United States in the next 16 hours, 22 minutes. It is unclear what the intensity of the radiation will be at that time. There is a strong possibility that all radio and television signals will be lost due to radioactive disruption. Observers at the Hale Telescope Observatory have stated that there are several large objects on course to Earth at this time. One particular object, named HA341, is on a collision course with the planet, and current trajectory states that it will likely impact with Russia within the next 4 hours and 18 minutes. Current data on the object suggests that the object is approximately 2.4 kilometers in diameter, and is ranking a 7 on the Torino scale. NASA and the North American Aerospace Defense Command will be carrying out contingency plans to avert the asteroid from Earth's orbit. There is also the strong possibility of a severe meteor shower happening within the next 65 minutes. All citizens are required to remain indoors until given the all-clear by the civil authorities. Make sure to keep tuned to this station for all of the latest news and information on this event. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this message. This station has interrupted regular programming at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air to bring the latest news and information to the public in assigned areas. You are listening to WMTK, and we will continue to serve the Boston area. If you are not in this area, please tune to a station covering news for your area. You're listening to the emergency alert system. Do not use your telephone. Telephone lines should be kept open for official use only. The emergency alert system has been activated. Please stand by for an administrative message. The following message is an administrative message. At this time, the radioactivity from the destruction of the Cape Pegasi star is over, and no longer a threat to the planet. However, there was massive damage to the planet from the interstellar radiation. Most of the continents of South America, Africa, Asia, Northern Antarctica, and Australia were destroyed, and have extreme damage at this time. It is doubtful if life will be able to return to those areas. There is massive damage to the United States as well, with most of the West Coast and Midwest destroyed, or left with heavy damage. The National Weather Service has also made a statement that, although the event is over, there is a very high ultraviolet index from the sun, meaning that the event has destroyed the upper levels of the ozone layer. NORAD has issued a statement that they were able to redirect the incoming asteroid to a safe trajectory away from Earth. Meteors have caused destruction over a large part of the planet, with the most damage done to Great Britain, Scandinavia, and the Arctic Circle. At this time, all citizens are allowed to exit their shelters, but extreme care should be taken as to not go outdoors to avoid exposure to high-level sunlight. This has been an administrative message. We now return you to regular programming, and your government thanks you for your cooperation. Please stand by for local programming.